Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
Do you believe that people that are in sales in general, whether that's insurance, cars, vacuums, whatever, that they get that post-month blue from, having $100,000 month, and they come back the next month and they're like, lack of better word, shot their load.
Yeah, so that's true. They've done studies on it.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you think in your brain, so let's say you said I was going to do $100,000 in a year. So January 1, you go out and get an $80,000 deal for whatever, on a fluke. Yeah. They completely shut down for like 4 or 5 months. They don't know how to respond to it.
Right.
And so then it gets down towards, let's say, November, and they're like, oh, I'm 20,000 short of my goal, and then they go and do it. Remember, the subconscious mind's way more powerful than the conscious mind.
Yeah.
So I forget the name of it, but, they have a name of it, like the reticular activating. I mean, it's not that, but I'm saying they have a name for that, and that is a known fact. That did not happen with me because I already knew about it, and I just readjust my goal. Plus, from the beginning, I always double every goal. Yeah, but in my mind, I'm like, seriously, like, so if I say I'm going to do $1 million this year, I'd say $2 million, but I'm not like, oh, I'm just kidding. I would be like, I'm going to get $2 million or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That was my brain. So then if I only got 175 or 1.7 million instead of my 2 million, well, it was 700,000 more than what I wanted anyway.
Right.
So I was like, so I that's the one thing I learned in college. If you want 200 computers, ask for 400.
Yeah.
Nothing else that I learned, but I did learn that.
Got it. And then so, on the flip side, dealing with bad months.
Yeah.
When it came to having that bad month for whatever reason, how would you have dealt with that the following month? Would it be a blue? Would it be like ramping it back up, or was it the same?
No, I'm going to strum the guitar, and whatever pops out, pops out. I'm not going to try to, electric guitar it or whatever, because to me, just like you running, you tense up, you try to play the electric. Man, that even hurt my neck just doing it right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I have a system. I know the system's going to work. It's worked for the previous 9 months.
Yeah.
So if I had a bad whatever, I just didn't think about that. I was like the corner or the quarterback who just threw, 3 interceptions. I'm Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
He throw 3 interceptions and score 42 fantasy points, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's me, dude. I'm like, well, but a lot of times that didn't happen because I was doing the right things here to get to there.
Got it. So then for the people that, did have the bad month, whether you knew them or not, studies, what happened, if happened to them if they had that bad month moving into the next month? So let's say they had a terrible February. Now we're moving into March 1st. What would they do?
That same, and then they'd have a terrible month the next month, and the next month, and the next month, and the next month, and then they get out. Yeah, well, because what the deal is, right? It cracks me up. Everybody goes, man, you're fearless, Brett. I'm like, no, I'm scared like everybody else. I'll just go do it anyway. And so what happens is, especially in sales, people are just scared. And they think of all the excuses. Well, I don't want to call them at 8 in the morning because they're probably going to work.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to call them at 9 because they just finished breakfast. Well, I don't want to call them at 10 because they're getting ready to go to lunch. Well, I don't want to call them after their lunch, right? It's all these excuses, or the same thing with a baby, right? Well, I don't want to have a baby at 20 because I'm in the prime of my life. Well, I don't want to have a baby at 25 because I'm in the second prime of my life. I don't want to have a baby at 30 because I'm getting too, right? It's the same old BS, right? With no matter what we do, right? It's a mindset. It starts there. That's why all the systems that I have, whether it's a company system, a team system, an individual system, whether it's a system that teaches you directly how to, be a champion of youth, meaning, teachers or after school program people or or whether it's all the same. It starts right here, right up above the neck, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And so as a man thinketh, so he is. I think I can. I think I can. No, I know I will. I know I will. I did. Right? All these things, this is happening here first. So then when I get there, I'm like, Tom Brady ain't afraid of the moment. Right. He's been there 1,000,000 times in his head. Yeah. Whether he was a little kid in the backyard or, right? Yeah. So now he's starting to put on some, good physical parts to it too. Right. He's eating better. He's, doing all that. So that's why he's playing till he's 43, or 43. But that mind's there, baby.
Every time.
Yeah, he's strong.
Yeah. With the team that you built for sales.
Yeah.
And even with your 223 employees.
Yeah.
How did you get them to move forward with what Grandma says, that ignorant enthusiasm?
Yeah. Well, so what we would do is that I wouldn't set the goals for them. Mm-hmm. I would just talk to them about setting the goals. So when we do golden goals with you guys, do I tell you the number?
No.
Okay. So you tell the number.
Mm-hmm.
If I thought the number was low, I would stretch you.
Mm-hmm. I'd
be like, I do it in my own way. I'm usually sarcastic, so I'd be like 5,000.
Right.
Did you mean in a month? Or you meant for the whole year, right?
Yeah.
So then that's psychological warfare, right? So I'm playing a little bit of game with you.
Yeah.
So even if I stretch it from 5 to 10, or I did a training before that says, hey, if you want 5, then always say 10. Always double the number. But then I would still talk trash to you and rag on you a little bit. It's psychological, right?
Yeah.
So, if I thought the number was right on, either way, you're taking ownership of the number, not me.
Right, yeah.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have benchmarks in place. I'm going to say, so Nick, you set the goal for 5,000, but you said you changed it to 7,000. Is that right? Okay. So simple math says that if you want this by the end of the year, there's 7 months left. You'd have to do 1,000 a month, and we're 10 days towards the end of the month, and you don't have 1,000. You don't even have close to that. So what can I do to help and support you in your goal?
Got it.
What are you going to say to that?
Right.
Right. You got to go look in the mirror. So I'll continue to look, put the mirror in front of people. They don't like it.
Yeah.
People want to bash the mirror. I don't want to bash the mirror. I'm thankful for the mirror.
Yeah.
It shows my blemishes.
Yeah.
But most people aren't like that. They want to look away. They want to break it. They don't want that mirror next to them, because what's that mirror going to do? It's going to show them where they're at and hold them accountable to what they said to begin with anyway.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. And then for the last question, how would you deal with the self-employed independent contractor that was the week on guy, week off guy, or the month on, the month off guy?
Well, it depends. So we had a gal, and she collected a license, and she referred me business one time a year, about 8 to 10 weeks prior to Christmas, because that paid for her Christmas.
Okay.
So for her, yeah, not only 8 weeks, it was 8, basically, once, every 10 months. I had other people that would come in and get a license and say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll refer the business to you because I got to go pay for a $10,000 wedding. So they would just throw,
everything.
Yeah, and we're splitting deals and whatever.
Yeah.
But specifically for what you're asking, and can you ask that again? Because I want to answer that specifically.
Yeah. How would you deal with the person that was either week on, week off, month on, month off?
Yeah. So if that's not what they had set their mind to begin with, and they were inconsistent, I would just talk with them and try to train and whatever. But I knew for the most part, how do you get over a fear of bats if you don't just jump in?
Right.
Right. You can't really, go and look at a bat and then go. You just got to kind of jump in the middle of it and go, okay, well, I got bit or scratched, but I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And most people, you could work on their mindset and, understanding. But in the end, it was tough, man. Most people would be like, that whole thing I just said, 8 o'clock. Well, they'd always make excuses. Or, well, I don't know if they'll want it. Well, who are you to tell people what they want? Which is what I said at the beginning, right? Who are we to decide as salespeople what that guy wants or that gal wants? Let them decide, But and that's why I should tell them, you don't have to buy anything from me.
Yeah.
But you're going to listen to this 30 or 60-minute presentation because it could change your life forever.
Well, as we're closing up, before we get to bonus questions, is there anything that you'd like to add or say that I didn't ask you or that you want to reiterate to the audience?
Not in particular, but I think everything that we talked about is good stuff for salespeople.
Yeah.
In a kind of a random way.
Yeah.
But, we could talk about the specific step 1, step 1.1, step 1.2. But that's, I like it better this way so that people can take what they need from it and, get more sales, so to speak.
Right. Got it.
If you you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and/or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.